two sides to every story, and this is my story.
Push up over, be pushing back, Lord.
So, welcome to my alabaster box. Welcome. I just want to introduce, this is Diva of Diva Delicacies and more. She can tell you a little bit more about her. So,
hey guys, all right. I am Diva. That's Deeva. Okay. I am the founder, I guess you can say, of Diva Delicacies. For your best cuisines and your best delicacies, our dishes, Nigerian, Trinidadian, African delicacies. So I take pride in that. I also do hair as well. So, and that's Dawn's Divas. You can find me on Facebook at Dawn's space Diva, Diva. All right. So those are just some things that I do. Also, her firstborn.
that's my baby.
Hi, thank you for having me and welcome.
So, before we get into this, we are going to get into some real topics. This one was brought about by a trending topic that way you find yourself hearing about lately. You hear some ladies, some young ladies talking about they want to be stay-at-home moms and live off the husband. And they're young. There's some things that come along with that. And I'm not sure that they understand what it is. And I just wanted to share my story, the parts of my alabaster box about being a stay-at-home mom and what that included and how it stunted my growth. So we can just dig right in. Have you been hearing about this trend?
I have. And I have the same like theory as you. Like, it's fun, it's cool, it's the thought of being a stay-at-home mom is awesome. Every woman wants that. I won't say every woman, but a lot of us dream, like, oh, we just gonna stay home, we're gonna kind of do it old school and traditional, so to speak. But there's a lot that goes with that, being from a stay-at-home mom myself and watching my mom and being her eldest. It's a lot more than what you bargain for, if you want to just put it like that, because I guess most girls see the surface of it, and the surface is, I get to stay home, I don't have to work, which, I mean, that's the truth of it, right? We can stay home, but it's so much more than that, and I definitely think we can go ahead and dive right into that.
So, I loved being a stay-at-home mom, actually. I loved it. The mom part was great. Because, they always say the stay-at-home mom, as if that is all you do. But, no, sir. No, sir, no, ma'am. There is a lot more that goes on. You're basically your husband's employee, You're the nurse, you're the nanny, you're the housekeeper, you're the secretary, you are the womb, and you relinquish your rights as not to be that person, because they make all the rules. They make all the rules. Now, I loved it because I loved it and didn't know that I was in jail until I realized that I couldn't get out. That's a lot to say. Yeah. But I loved it because I didn't have to make any of the hard decisions. And he never asked me to sin, proverbial, right? Not sin against him. But sins against myself, but not, he never asked me to sin. He never asked me to break any laws. There was no reason. We're both Christian, strong Christian family. I didn't subjected to, follow the man, follow the man, do what he say, be quiet. um, you know, don't know more than him because you can't lead. All of those things. Those were traditional values back then. Uh, those were the traditional values of the Christian, and so when I lived it, and it gave me some false sense of securities. Like I'll never get put out, or or I'll never have to worry about money. Those are false, false securities, because that wasn't true. We did have to worry about money,
Right.
and we did struggle a bit, and so I didn't realize how much how it kind of stunted my growth because I was 20.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
And I guess when you got married and you had the kids, who do you feel like he valued more, the kids or you?
He definitely valued the children, but he let me know that from the beginning. I don't want you to work. I want you to raise my babies. Just raise my babies. Just raise my babies. So, that was what he found very important. And it was always,
Yeah, that trusting factor. And
yeah.
that means something to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought that, but I never saw it. I never, ever saw that we would not be together. Because the Bible told us, but this is a whole nother story, but because I believe what the Bible said, I'll put it in and leave it there, right? And so, so when I did get out, my eyes began to open, and I began to see the marriages and other families, and I began to hear the stories of my parents that I never listened to. And then I got to saw that, wow, I kind of stunted my growth, social skills growth is what I mean when I say it stunted my social skills growth. I didn't grow socially under in those 15 years.
Yeah, that makes sense. He was at the age of experimenting.
I was
everybody
still,
really young. Yeah.
I was still in the new 80s.
What would you have think? What would you? The advice you would give to the younger crew, right? Who is thinking about
ask the questions to yourself now. So a lot of times what we do is we look at the older, we look and we say, as when you're older, what would you say to yourself when you were 25?
Right.
I would say to you at 25, when you are 50, look at yourself and say, what do you want for you at 50?
Right.
And then you can ask your interest, your love. Then you can ask him the questions that you need to know. Because I think that he was a good father. I think he was an okay dude. Just I didn't know what questions to ask, and I didn't know that I didn't know what I didn't know until I didn't know it.
Right. Right. For real. Rewind that back.
Yeah, but ladies, they got to think about when you decide to surrender your livelihood to him, you won't have the money and stuff to get out. You'll be kind of stuck.
That's so
You
true.
can't, if you're a person of moral value and stuff like that, you won't, be stealing and stuff, or, you won't be doing that. So you're going to be trying to talk him out and let you get a job. He don't want you to work. You're going to be trying to talk him. It's so stressful, to let you sell something that you make and stuff like that. And, it just depends. And I'm going to tell you, I talked to many women who flipped flipped on him. And I am not mad at any of them. I wish I had the courage to do it.
Yeah.
I wish I had the courage to do it, yeah. But they need to know up front it's not he's going to, and let me tell you, now that's not even the part we need to discuss, because what we need to discuss is how are you getting what you need in life?
Yeah, from this relationship here.
Because you don't make money, you have to wait for him to bring you whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And if he decides.
Yeah. So I experienced that. I'll tell you guys my experience with that. I was a stay-at-home mom too. And I was very traditional. I guess not necessarily that I wanted that life. Because trust me, it came as surprising. Like, I'm pretty sure it came surprising, like all of you guys. Okay, but you know, as women, we do what it do. Okay, here it is. You know, I'm kind of one of them strong ones, because you got you finna take care of me and these kids. Okay, I don't care what you talking about, sir. None of that matters. Also, so it was my experience was different. During the experience, I partake in a little holy herb, if you know what I mean. And so my experience with that financially is he was in charge. He was in charge of my intake. He paid for it. If he said that was enough, and it was only 2, you know what I'm saying? It was only 2 full J's. That was it. It was enough. And we all know, as you know, frequent users, that's not enough to last me 2 weeks until you get paid again. So, I mean, it's very much relying on him. I also, you know, with food, if you're not financially getting food stamps, you're waiting on him. How much he wants, or he feels like I'm going to put in the house.
Undergarments.
Honey.
Personals.
Honey.
You don't want him to, but I didn't do a lot of, you know, sometimes I had to relinquish the shopping, you know, sometimes I couldn't go out and get the stuff, so, you know, sometimes it was that way.
And saying
so
that,
he'd have to buy it.
Right. And that depends on what type of man you have, because even though we had both very masculine men that wanted to take care of home, and they were very dominant men, she had a very different type of man, and it really depends on, you know, who you have to know who you have. And you need to really know how your man folds under pressure. That's the main thing you need to know. That is big.
That's big.
Big.
I don't know. You don't know how to respond to him if you decide that that's who you want to be with, you have to know how to respond to that. And so, you know, you have to study them, but you know, sometimes asking them too many questions, you know, them that they don't like it when you try to get in their head.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get in their heads, they don't like it. You know, so you have to use your femininity to get it, you know, to get him to, you know, be a little vulnerable, to relax and know that he can trust you. Yeah. And he knows that he can trust you. You know, even now, you know, nobody, you know, the people who knows names are his family. But, you know, nobody knows me. Not his family. His family don't know me. But you know, things like that, that's all.
Asking the right questions.
But when they say, you know, it's, you have to have the information. It's with me, it is always, you make the best decision, whatever you want that you want to make. You know your agenda.
Right.
But you have to have all the information.
You gotta have all the information.
And it's always not what it looks. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. And you just don't. And sometimes, in my case, I did not know what I did not know until I did not know it. And by then, it was too late.
I understand that. That wasn't necessarily my situation. But that shit was real. Without going into detail, that stuff was real. You definitely, doable. I enjoy my time as well, but there is a lot of ups and downs. You would like to think that we are partners, right? But the truth of the matter is, y'all unequal as a motherfucker. Okay? Because in his brain, now I understand we as women understand we bring a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But in his mind,
feel the equality, but they don't. Not if you're not paying no bills.
Yeah, that it's not.
Not if you're not really, the house not sparkling when you get home.
Yeah.
Not if the food
not done.
burned.
Your ass not tooted. The kids not damn sleep. Right. And his favorite liquor ain't on the goddamn shelf. Cause what have you been doing all day?
What have you been doing with yourself?
All day.
Yeah.
All day, and that's their attitude.
And so, it feels a fair exchange. You know.
I feel like they do think it's a fair exchange when it's frequent. You cannot be sitting at home. Now, this is for the ones that are thinking about the lifestyle, but you're only thinking about you sitting at home. This is not
right. Yeah, the ones like us that did the damn thing. No.
Yeah, this is not a sit at home.
No, big ups to us. Right?
Especially if you have a baby.
No, not us. No. We're just trying to warn the ones who think that it's just going to be chill. You're going to eat bonbons. You're going to be like Peg.
Unless
with Al. You're
married with children. Married with children.
Yeah. No, he's not gonna. Not a man of quality.
This is definitely. You're definitely Wilma, and he's definitely Fred.
Definitely Wilma. Fred
is definitely. And if you haven't seen it since you was a child, you need to go watch it.
And maybe some Betty and Barney, because Barney was a little lighter.
Yeah.
But he was still the man of the house.
Yeah.
And him a little man, she could take him any moment.
Yeah.
But
he definitely was giving big man energy. But he
gave big man energy, right?
I mean, he was hanging with Fred.
And you don't realize that your man, he can be a grand poobah kind of guy,
Yeah.
And that's great, because guess what Fred and Barney had? Wilma and Betty. No, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
No, it was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay. I'm just saying that the ones who think that you're gonna have Wilma and Betty's life without Wilma and Betty's struggles.
It's really real.
And they feel that it is a fair exchange for you to
your services at home.
Your services at home for your free living.
No, for real.
He feels
real.
He does, and
for real.
And as long as he feels that way, then you guys will be on the same
That's the dynamic.
page. You'll stay true to the assignment.
No, for real.
He'll stay true to the assignment, because that is the understanding of the relationship when you started it. That's the dynamic
of the relationship.
Right.
Everybody was agreed upon. And I would like to say
but
that even
gotta
over
talk
time,
about it.
Right, and even over time, you are allowed to change your mind, but you have to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to speak up for both the men and the women, but women, we talking to y'all, right? So you might want to be a housewife for the first 3 years. You might have got bored because the shit is boring as fuck. I'm trying to tell. For the ones who think you're gonna go in here and take a nap, like, it's cute with one baby, you right? You might take a nap with one baby, like, oh, okay, right? It really is. Like, let me put you on. With one baby, it can be lit. It's lit. You hear me? All right? That's if y'all have that relationship. If he's a masculine man, if he knows what he wants out of you. My litness, because it was my house, and he was coming into my house, he just asked, I make $400 a month, right? And I'll tell y'all about my backstory, but that was easy. So I made my $4 to take care of whatever it is that he had asked me. He didn't say for what, just make $400, and he carried on the rest. So with one baby, it can be very lit, but once you start adding babies, you add stress, you add money, you add time, you add nagging, you add reality, right? Because if you're both working, one baby is really easy, And so, but when you start adding multiples, and the best thing for y'all to do is move in and y'all living and you're thinking about doing it, it's very stressful.